Hello there and welcome back to my YouTube channel. James here as ever for today's video all about how to pass your upcoming financial accounting, that's the FA or F3 paper. And in this video I'm going to take you through all of the free resources available to you on ACCA's website that I'd be using if I was in your position having to sit the exam tomorrow, next week, next month. These free resources are definitely going to help you out. If this is the first time you've visited my channel before, I mean, where have you been? But I'll introduce myself as ever. My name is James. I'm an ACCA qualified member from the UK. And on my channel, I help out ACCA students and professionals, wherever you may be, based around the world, with my experience, my insights from qualifying as an actual ACCA member. And if you haven't already realised, the actual channel is 100% student-led. Feel free to leave me a comment at the bottom what you thought of the video and if you've got any other requests that I can help you out with, because all videos are dedicated to my lovely subscribers. And today is no different. So, Andrew, I know you're out there. Thank you so much for your comment, and quite simply, Andrew's put, can you please do a video for FA or the F3 paper? Well, Andrew, I'm more than happy to. I mean, I've done other videos like this on the channel, so I couldn't leave you out. What I'm going to take you through is, as I said, all the free resources available to you on ACCA's website. If you go to the description of this video and click the top link, that's going to take you directly onto the main screen on ACCA's website where you can find all of these things. So nice and simple. If this is the first time you've been to my channel or you're not already subscribed, make sure you do and hit the button below so you get access to all of my free resources and all of my new uploads as well. And if you've got any other comments or sort of feedback on the video or other videos you'd like me to do, as always, make sure you leave me a comment below. And whilst you're down there, make sure you give the video a massive like and thumbs up. That really helps more accounting students to see and benefit from the videos. So thank you so much for all your support. I really appreciate it. So without any further ado, I'm going to hop on to the main screen now, get yourself a pen and paper ready to take down some notes and actionable points that you can get on with after this video. Get yourself comfy and enjoy it. So on 3 and 2 and 1 and go. Okay then, so if you've clicked the link, as I said, in the description to the video, it's going to take you directly onto ACCA's website where we have the financial accounting, that's the FA exam, also known as the F3 paper. I'm on the side here, all the important information is in the middle, so pen and paper at the ready. I'm going to walk and talk you through all of the key elements that I'd be using if I was in your position. And the first one to pick up on are the pass rates, as you can see at the bottom. So it tends to be hovering, give or take, around about 75% pass rate for this exam, which is pretty good if you ask me. I mean, what that means is that 3 and 4 on average pass this exam. Or for example, in June 2021, for every 100 students that sat the exam, 74 passed, which again is pretty good on there. So the video today, in my eyes, if you go through these free resources, apply them in your revision, you will be part of that 74% along with lots of question practice, which I'm going to make you aware of in the video, so make sure you stick around to the end. So first of all, we have the introduction on here. So this will be really helpful whether this is one of the first things you've ever watched about financial accounting, or if you've come up to your revision and you just want a little overview for it. Well, first of all, I definitely have down to watch the actual introduction on there. Again, free video, but you can watch it in your own time. Put it as a little call to action to say, I need to put that in. But then this is the first resource that I'd highly recommend you actually download and have a look and put it into your revision notes. So as a pro host now, I've always prepared one earlier as if I could work in cooking or something. But if you look on here, this is that all on one page, how to actually approach financial accounting, the FA paper, and I'm just taking you through some of the key elements. I mean, you've got a little overview there about what it actually is, about the preparation of financial statements and recording of transactions. But then the first key element I'd be getting down as a potential way of organising your notes, because what can happen in financial accounting is you get a bit confused by what overlaps with what. Well, you've got 5 options on here as to the context and purpose of financial reporting: qualitative, recording transactions, demonstrating double entry in accounting systems, and preparing the trial balance. Well, to me, that could be 5 individual folders that maybe you can actually allocate your notes into each of the 5, Maybe you've got questions you've attempted or notes of where you made mistakes. Keep them all separate and organised, and that is definitely going to help your revision. You've also got on here the actual steps to success, and the key one on there I put the mouse over is study the whole syllabus, because the ACCA marker continually points this out, that the reason why a quarter of the students fail this is because they haven't covered the syllabus in enough depth, and I'll show you why that is really important later on as well. We've also got on here the actual exam conditions, the computer-based system. You can approach this in your own time. It's actually on demand. So it's a case of making sure you're comfortable with the processes. I'm going to show you an example of this later, but they also have available to you key resources at the bottom here. So taking the technical articles, for example, you can actually hover the mouse over and it's going to take you directly to that area. So some of them we're actually going to cover later on, but it's just so you're aware that maybe you want to get down in your notes to have a look at these in your own time. Print out this document as well, because the final key aspect as to why students pass this exam is because they have a real good core understanding of all the key elements that we just looked at in the overview, because they can test absolutely anything in section A. And then we have down here that we'll have in section B 2 multitask questions, and they're MTQs, just to get that noted down, whereas in section A you'll have objective test questions, which are OT questions, all worth 2 marks each. And to be honest with you, for section A, and I've done a video about how to pass the FA exam, so if you haven't watched that on the channel already, make sure you do. But don't rush as you go through. Give yourself 2 opportunities to review your answers, because you will make silly mistakes on it. Don't rush through them, understand what the requirement is asking, understand all the potential options, and then try to exclude which are not actually viable on there. Also, make sure you answer all of the questions as well. Don't miss out any. And then finally on here, you have more sort of scenario-based and understanding with application for section B, definitely going into a lot more detail. And each MTQ will be a specific to the syllabus area. So I'm going to take you onto the syllabus later on. So another key document you need to get down. And again, make sure you show all of your workings, and then ensure you do your workings even though you do not need to show them, on there. The reason for that is because you actually have to select the right answer on there. That's the key thing. So just be aware to get it down. I'm going to show you later on a example, so that is going to help you out. But again, a really helpful document on there to get the ball rolling that I would definitely be using myself. So if we head back to the actual main page on here now, and then go on to the examining team guidance. Again, a really helpful video on here from ACCA. This is where the FA paper used to be called F3, so just to make a note of that in case you're new to the actual syllabus. And then I'll be actually analysing and reading through the most recent examiner's report. So on here we've got it up to August 2020, but again, obviously I've prepared one earlier. Really helpful resource on here now, where it breaks it down how you're actually going to be approaching the examination with examples on here, so how they would be laid out to a particular standard. And what I would recommend is have a go at this in your own time beforehand. Try not to look at the answers you can see on here, and it takes and walks and talks you through the standard that is expected, and then also on top of that where students have actually made mistakes in the past and what led to a good understanding and a correct answer. I have actually done a video on most of all these PDFs, so if you haven't already, make sure you actually go and check some of these out afterwards, and if you subscribe as well, you will get access to all the free materials on there. So the ball's really in your court on there, but as you can see, it goes into a great deal of detail on here, really helpful, and then explaining, as you can see on here, why it was correct, and also where most of the mistakes actually came up as well. So you've got everything from multi-choice questions, a few calculations on there, number entry, getting your units correct, decimal places. These are all key things to get jotted down in your notes on this video of where people make mistakes. And then coming on to section B now for performance. Again, candidates will be required to prepare the financial statements using a variety of number entry, pulled out menus and multiple response matching. So this is operating the computer-based examination process effectively, and then not making mistakes in terms of what numbers you're going to put in and where. There is an actual practice question, which I'm going to take you on to later on, so make sure you get that down in your notes that you go away and attempt it a couple of times before your exam. They've also broken it down here to the actual areas. So look on here, you've got comments about Section B performance, financial statements, key areas about, just look on this. Sorry for interrupting myself, but the following comments explain how candidates might be able to improve their performance in the future when producing the different types of financial statements. So in other words, they're trying to point out to you here, you need to be good at single entity financial statements. With an example, you need to be good at statement of cash flows and consolidated financial statements with examples and the level of detail that they'd expect in this exam. So again, a really helpful area, but it's always in the conclusion that the underlying areas as to why people fail the exam are found. So it is imperative that candidates study and prepare well for all topics in the syllabus, so not question spotting on there, because all the questions all the syllabus areas are examinable in this exam. Also advised on here to actually prepare a revision timetable for all topics. Again, they've stated all topics. This is where question practice and analysing the requirement and the scenario really pays dividends for students who pass this exam. So if we go back to the main screen now, so that's the examiner's guidance on there, so back to the resources on the main page, and this is where the syllabus comes into it. So again, simply scroll down, as you can see on here, and then pick the one which refers to you. So if we went to the September 21 on here, so that's the most up-to-date one we've got, and this is the type of document that you'll be made aware of. Now, if you are new to ACCA, or maybe this is your first exam, I'd highly recommend that you put in your notes after this video that you go away and analyse this in great detail, because it can really help settle the nerves as you go through, and it takes you through all the different areas, the expectations, the amount of hours it's going to take to revise effectively for this exam, so you are fully prepared, along with guidance from the actual examining team. But this is one of the key fundamental areas that if you were only to scrape through financial accounting and not to gain any high marks on it, or not to understand the concepts effectively, then when you come on to financial reporting, and especially SBR, you would struggle quite a lot. So really understand the syllabus in great detail and pay particular attention to understanding that core knowledge, especially if you're not from an accounting background. Again, you've got lots of areas of the syllabus on here. You're more than happy to read through in your own time. I just want to make you aware of it. But these are the main capabilities. The day before the exam, you have to be able to say, yes, James, I can do everything on there from A to H. So everything from interpreting the financial statements to the context and the purpose of financial reporting. And this is where it really helps for some understanding as to where it all fits in. So you've got a nice little flowing diagram on there, how it all overlaps. Now, you've got the syllabus on here, which if you have access to a printer, I would highly recommend you print this off, so that you can actually check it off one by one, and so that you can say to yourself, am I comfortable with preparing a trial balance or the disclosure of notes? And what it is on here is that, just so you're crystal clear, you've got the context and purpose of financial reporting there, which was part A, and then you've got up here for part A, context and purpose of financial reporting. So what it does for you on here is it says, well, from the context and purpose of financial reporting, those 5 elements are everything you need to know. So it's a really helpful tool to go through it one by one, and it's all condensed onto one page. But if you're a bit like me and you want to know about it in more detail, then they actually have a detailed study guide, which is super, super helpful. So again, you've got part A, the context and purpose of financial reporting. Then you've got the purpose and scope of external reporting, and it just breaks it down into more detailed areas. So if you went through them one by one, check them all off, and if you didn't know what it was referring to, then you can go back to your study text and read up on that area. So again, really helpful. Yes, it's going to be a few pages because it's the detailed study guide, but overall a really helpful tool that I would definitely be using. And also it breaks down on here all of the calculations you would be expected to calculate, such as goodwill, and it's broken it down there in a nice little pro forma. Very helpful. Finally, at the bottom, any changes to the actual syllabus. So make sure you have a look at the actual syllabus that applies to you, and then what areas were actually updated. So in this case it was wording and then clarified reserves on there. So just little areas for you to be aware of, but overall for me a very, very helpful resource, especially the detailed study guide that if I could, I'd print it off as well to make sure I fully understood it. And if I was new to financial accounting and accountancy, even better. Now, next we have on here something called the examinable documents. And again, a really overlooked resource that you can download for free on here. Again, I'm just going to pull up the most up-to-date one on here, and this is what it looks like. And it, as you can see on here, it breaks down all of the different international accounting standards, as you can see on the left, and then it ticks them off as to say, well, for whichever one you're going to be doing, so the financial accounting exam, if you're doing it as the foundation paper or the usual financial accounting paper, it shows you on here which standards you have to be able to be aware of, what it means, and how it would be implemented to the syllabus. So nicely broken down here, all in numerical order, very helpful. You don't actually have to memorize these, you've just got to be able to actually apply and say what they actually mean. So it wouldn't be expected of you to, in this exam, to say and remember what IS2 inventories are. But again, it's broken down onto one page, nicely broken down, and I've actually done a video on this as well, explaining and going into a bit more details what they all mean. So if you want a bit more help on it, feel free to check it out. It's all on my channel for free. So that takes you through the actual examinable documents on there. Again, really helpful tool, as I said. But because we're going to be doing some calculations, there are going to be lots of figures within this exam, and then also the time pressures and understanding the requirements are another factor to actually pass the exam. If English isn't your first language, or if you're like me, where I was all right at maths, wasn't particularly that good, but there are lots of free resources on here that, again, you can have a look at in your own time, make the most of them, and it could be the difference. Again, just picking up on those extra marks, that could definitely help you out. So that's the actual maths and language support, getting us through the actual getting started area. And then you can move on to the actual practice tests. So you should be having a look at these, and I'll just scroll it down where put it in your revision notes to actually play this video, as you can see on the screen, again, directly from ACCA, and goes into the more details how to actually attempt the computer-based examination. But then at the bottom you have some actual other practice tests. Now you can actually purchase these through your MyACCA, your login account, but it's all about when you purchase them and when you actually try them, because at the end of the tests, when you go through them, it tells you the areas that you struggled on or you need to focus on more. So I'd recommend that you do these after you've finished the actual study text, after you've done some actual revision questions and practice, and also after when you've done the specimen exam, because then you're going to get the most amount of value. You can actually treat it as a mock test, as if it was your real exam. So definitely get that written down, and I would definitely be purchasing those. It's all directly from ACCA, so it is going to be credible and to the correct standard. We've also got on here specimen exams. Again, another really helpful free tool for you to use, and all you need to do is click on that link there, and you get these for the business technology exam, management accounting, and ours are at the bottom for financial accounting on here. And it's a real run through as to say, well, what you could expect in the real exam, how is it going to be laid out? So just clicking it through like this, as you can see on here, going through the actual process, making sure you're getting familiar with it, and you just start the exam as if you would on here. So going through it like a normal exam and attempt them, do this to time, do this with no distractions like your phone or anything on those lines, and see how you get on. I would highly recommend doing this to time. As I said, it will be a really helpful tool to help you pass this exam. So that's the specimen exams. I'd be doing the specimen exams, as we touched on earlier, after when I've gone through the study text, after if I've bought the actual examination questions. And again, if you check the link in the description of this video, I'll put all the up-to-date books in there as well for you to access. But then after I've completed those, I'm a lot more confident, then I'll be having a look at the specimen exams 100% on there. So we've ticked off the specimen exams. We've now got the actual technical articles. And these are going to be helpful for anyone who is new to accounting, or maybe you've worked in practice or for a company for a number of years, because on here, ACCA kindly upload articles written by professional accountants on a variety of different areas. And I use these when I was studying as to, well, if I didn't understand a topic, I'd always come onto the website to see, well, have they actually got a technical article on this? And then secondly, I'd go back to my study text and revisit the topic area. So again, really helpful on here. You've got cash flow statements. They all relate to the actual exam, and another free resource, along with the other study support videos you have on here, exam technique, examiner's reports we've looked at, the syllabus updates. So again, more points for you to write down. Break these up one by one, different days, and again, it could be those few extra little marks that can make the difference in you passing your financial accounting exam. Coming on to the bottom now, and the actual frequently asked questions. And again, this is really for someone who's completely new to financial accounting, or if you want to just settle your nerves before the actual exam. So it nicely breaks down the actual format. Some of these questions we've actually had before, but look, you've got technical areas as to say, will IFRS 15 or 16b examinable in the financial accounting exam? And you simply go down, and as you can see here, IFRS 15, yes. IFRS 16, no. So little things like that can make a big difference in your actual revision process and settling down those final exam nerves the night before. So that takes us through all the learning and revision areas, but there are two other areas on here. So you've got ACCAX and getting ready for the exam, and it's that important that you can put it on the website twice. So if you click on Find Out More, it's going to take you on to this area here. So these are courses available produced by ACCA themselves, and again, this one on here is $89, but again, it's completely up to you if you wanted to actually purchase that. However, if you're completely new to accounting and ACCA, if you scroll down here to the actual free resources, and again, on here, that's the financial accounting one we've just looked at. But if you scroll down to the bottom, if you're sort of just getting into it, you want a bit more help, then you've got Introduction to Bookkeeping on here, and then it goes all the way up to Intermediate Bookkeeping. So these are key terms that are used within the financial accounting exam. And as you can see on here, completely free, 24,000 students have already enrolled. So again, if I was completely new to accounting, I've got a free course on here, 5 to 8 hours per week. I definitely recommend you do this, and it's going to really underpin your knowledge that is going to help you with your study text. So again, definitely something to make the most of. Put it down in your notes to take action, get signed up, and to get the ball rolling on this. You also saw on here, getting ready for the financial accounting exam. And what this is a webinar conducted by ACCA, and you've got James Patrick on here, Head of Professional Education. So all credible, all ACCA led as to what you can expect within the computer-based examination. And as you can see on here, all you just need to do is plug in your actual details, and the recording's only just over an hour. Well, if ACCA have done this recording, they've taken the time to put it on there for you, so I probably guarantee that there are going to be nuggets of information on there that are going to help you out and could be that little difference to help you pass. Obviously, I said probably guarantee because everyone's situation is different on this. Maybe you're a prize winner in financial accounting. I don't know. But I'm going to say it would most likely help the majority of students, I would say. So again, put it on one evening when you're a bit tired after work. Really sit yourself down, pen and paper, and take down all of the key aspects that they mention on there. Well, in my eyes, if you go through all of those key resources that we've walked and talked through today, I'm sure you've got plenty of notes and things to put on your revision to-do list. But in my eyes, you're going to be within the 74% that pass this exam, just like in June 2021. Thank you very much for listening, and let's head back onto the main screen now. 3, 2, 1, go. Well, Andrew, what did you think to that? Along with everyone else who's got the financial accounting F3 ACCA exam paper coming up. Let me know in the comments what you thought of the video, and if you've got any other questions or queries or requests, just keep me posted. I answer all of them and more than happy to help. These could be the little differences that could get you that 50 plus and to pass your next exam. If you did find the video helpful with all the insights and my experience, make sure you give the video a massive like and thumbs up. I really appreciate it, and it means that more ACCA students and accounting students can see these videos, which is really helpful. Also, if you'd like to subscribe as well, the button is at the bottom. You get access to all my free materials. You get notified of all my actual uploads as well, all designed to help you pass and complete ACCA overall. So, I mean, what isn't there to like on that? If you're watching this now, you probably want to get to the end. So there you go. It's all good. Plus, also make sure you check out all my other financial accounting videos that I'd be implementing if I was in your position. Well, the final thing I can actually say is best of luck with your actual financial accounting examination. I hope the tips and tricks and all the resources we went through in this video, along with the other videos on the channel, help you out. As a final treat, what I've done for you at the end here is I've left you a couple of videos, so make sure you click one of them. It could be the difference in getting you over that 50 plus with more of my insights available to you. Well, best of luck with that. And on that bombshell, I'll see you next time. Cheers.